Mr. Cee's Cooking Experiment, Episode 1. I decided that I was going to go and do a series of videos for everybody, kind of highlighting some of the things I've learned in my 30-plus years as a chef. Some things have to do with catering, some things have to do with restaurant work. A lot of things are going to be very conducive to cooking at home. And we're going to start off the series with doing some family recipes. So I'm sure that my immediate family is going to be very happy to find out that the first episode is going to be my grandmother's chicken paprikash. I used to spend summers in Ohio at my grandmother's house where just the food was unbelievable. She's a fantastic cook, and this is really in dedication to her. So what do you say we get started? And we'll start with the ingredients. Okay, the ingredients you're going to need for the chicken paprikash dish. One whole chicken, cut up into parts, and we do have 2 thighs, 2 drumsticks, and 2 breasts. I did cut the breasts in half, so we kind of had equal sized pieces of protein. We have salt, Hungarian paprika, 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 4 large eggs, a cup of green bell peppers, a cup of Spanish onion, and 6 cups of chicken stock. Very simple, to the point. The first thing you're really going to want to start doing here is you're going to want to go and season your chicken with some salt and fresh cracked pepper. Make sure you season that really well. Stick that to the side over here, and I'm going to show you real quickly how we're going to make the dumplings with these 3 ingredients. Okay, you're going to want to put your eggs in here. I use a whisk for the entire process. You can use a wooden spoon if you want. I find it once you're putting the flour in, you'll be able to eliminate the lumps that sometimes are caused by adding the flour too much at one time. We're going to add the flour 1/3 at a time. Whisking out whatever lumps you can. This time I'm going to add in a pinch of salt. Add in another 1/3 of the flour. Also, another good reason why we do 1/3, 1/3, and 1/3 is if you add all the flour at one time, we've all done this, it comes flying out as you're trying to mix it in. And the rest. See, it's starting to come and look like a dough. All right, and it's ready to go, as you can see. That's how you make your dumpling dough. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start browning your chicken. So a little bit of olive oil in here into your pan. All right? Going to brown it nice on each side. Skin side down first. nice golden brown on each one of these pieces. All the meanwhile, right over here, we've got a pot of salted water that we're going to be making the dumplings in once we're got this started, this whole stew started here with the chicken. Now that you got your chicken browned in here, like so, you're going to set it to the side. You're going to use the same pan. You're going to add in your onions. You're going to add in your green bell pepper. And saute them in the same pan. That means you're not going to be losing any of that flavor there from the browning of that chicken. Do that really for a couple minutes. Most. Then I add in my paprika. Stir that in. Add a little bit of stock. The reason I do that is so that we do not go and burn that paprika on the bottom of the pan. That flavor's been released. Right? You want to add your chicken back in, like so. Evenly distributed. Add in the rest of your stock. Just covering the chicken, like so. And you want to let that simmer about 45 minutes. Okay, so now it's time to start making our dumplings here. As you can see, we are simmering here with the chicken, so we have turned this down to low. And we're going to let that simmer while we're making these. As we make these, we will be putting them into the pot. But we're going to test one first here. Once it floats to the top, realize it's just about done. That looks good to me. Right? There you go. You got a dumpling right there. So we're going to add these in as they're done. So, when I watched my grandmother do this, she did it off of a plate. Like so. Right into the boiling water. And she used to do this in her own restaurant in the, I believe it was the 40s. It was called The Tavern. She even made it onto television, where she wouldn't tell them what the secret ingredient was in the dumplings. Well, I'll tell you all these years later, 'cause I don't think I'm going to get in trouble for it. It was yellow food coloring. But this was a very well-respected dish in the restaurant. When I had it in the restaurant in Philadelphia, it was one of our best sellers for lunch. It just was. People would come in specifically for it. But I wouldn't do it any differently than this, because this is how I felt truly it was supposed to be done. And this is how I watched my grandmother do it. So you let them, that, as you can see, they float directly to the top there. Nice handheld strainer that fits in there, does you wonders in this task. Take them, strain them, and put them in. Okay, so as you can see, we finished our dumplings. We've added it all into the pot, just covering the chicken. We're going to let that simmer for about 40 minutes, and we'll be right back after this short music interlude. And we're back. That was the house musician. His name is Joseph Bag of Donuts. Quite a talented young man he is. All right, so we're going to plate this paprikash here. I know what you're thinking. You're saying, he forgot the sour cream. I didn't forget the sour cream, folks, but I just don't add it in while it's hot. I add it in at the end so that it doesn't curdle. You don't lose all that flavor. So we're going to do drumstick and thigh. Got some dumplings we're adding in there. You can see that those dumplings have really infused with that paprika, that chicken stock, that, okay? So we're going to add our sour cream at the end. We're going to add a dollop at the end here, like so, okay? You can mix it in as you go. We're going to add some scallions in there as well, just to add a little bit of green. All right. And there you have it. My grandmother's chicken paprikash. All right. There you have it. My grandmother's chicken paprikash recipe. I love it. I know the family loves it. Hopefully you're going to love it as well. So I call this a cooking experiment because we're going to do a lot of different things, a lot of interesting food, and have a lot of fun doing it. We're going to add some different musical bits to it, maybe some comedy bits to it if we can, and we're going to see where it goes. So in episode 2, just so you know, we're going to do a timbalo. Timbalo, you'll see what it is when you get to the next episode. We're going to take my wife's pasta forno recipe. We're going to kind of tweak it here, tweak it there. We're going to wrap it in this. We're going to bake it in that. We'll see how it is. Until then, be well and eat well. Thanks a lot.